It is my immense pleasure and my honor to welcome all of you here, all the dignitaries who have come far away, especially to make this event a very successful.
I would like to invite eminent speaker Dr. Shilpa Sanjeev. She's going to be telling us about her research and startup struggles, challenges, strategies, and implications for success. Dr. Shilpa Sanjeev is the director at Skyscraper Properties Limited UK and a respected startup mentor and angel investor. She is a recipient of the Global Icon Award from the UK Parliament, recognizing her exceptional contributions to business and entrepreneurship. With her leadership at Skyscraper Properties and her commitment to supporting startups, Dr. Sanjeev continues to make a significant impact in the business world. And there she is. I like your shirt.
So this is Shilpa Sanjeev. So I'm a computer science engineer by academics, and I have like a 20 years of experience in automotive background, specialization in automation. So basically, I became an engineer not knowing if that was my passion or interest, because in India we were only taught you either become an engineer or a doctor. You know, that's that's how life is going to be beautiful. You know, so so I ended up being an engineer, but I did good, pretty good actually. So over the years, my experience. With my education and profession, and my parents being entrepreneurs from the age of 20 years. They were two young entrepreneurs doing multiple things in life, despite failures and success. They never stopped. So that experience combined with my education and profession and the experience abroad kind of gave me a sensible knowledge, how things can be done more decent, in a more decent and a successful way. So when I was talking to my team members and my colleagues, I realized that my advice is making a difference to them. So they were enjoying the advices and they were getting benefit out of it. So that is how my journey as a startup mentor started. So I mentor a lot of startups in India. So I'm part of a cross-disciplinary incubation center, that's Ramaya Evolute. And annually we choose 10 startups pan-India. We provide them £100,000, funding and infrastructure support. So I do have a lot of startups which I'm dealing with, and also some of the young crowd. So this is what the startup trend looks like. We have millions of startups getting generated across the world. And if you take top 5 countries, we have about 10 million startups. And top being USA, followed by India and UK, and, surprisingly, Brazil and Indonesia too. So we have startups, coming up as a mushroom everywhere. But do you know the success rate is only 10%? So 9 out of 10 startups are going to fail. So it is a fact, the data. So can you imagine that, we just saw 10 million startups from top 5 countries. And then if 1 million have succeeded, there is 9 million ideas that have failed, and 9 million ideas and the founders behind and multiple employees beyond that and the people surrounding that organization itself, families and employees families. So there is a huge socio economic impact, and financial stability impact, and even the relationship impact. The families get disturbed so much, and even the basic educational needs of the children cannot be met, and the breakups happen because of financial failures in the family. So we are talking about 9 million ideas getting failed and people getting impacted, but none of us seem to be kind of really worried about that. We just want, okay, I have an idea, it will work, let me start. Something will happen, I'll figure out something. I'm smart, I have the talent. Okay, so we start the journey with that idea. So, and we learn from our mistake over the years. I've seen in many of the digital platforms, they show you like 100 failure steps and then a final success. But do you really want to follow that? Do you want to really see like 100 failures to get one success? I don't think so. That's a smart way of doing things, though it teaches you, okay, to have a resilience, but to think beyond that. Why I'm climbing all those failures? If I can avoid them in the beginning, why am I going to start my journey thinking, okay, I'll learn from the failures? You have to learn from something else before. So this is what I started thinking, and I started introspecting myself, yeah? So what can we do about this? Because I have a startups, I do mentor a startup which has come up with betel leaf tea. That is a new concept, and their betel leaf tea bags are very nice, very tasty. But after 3 years, the founder do not have, enough money to find a ticket from Bangalore to Mumbai, which is only 10,000 rupees. So he is financially exhausted. He cannot go meet his distributor in Mumbai to sell his project. So he left his job, so that's the struggle they have made, and they have come to a stage, they really don't know how to move forward. But what went wrong? We have to see this, and, we have to develop something so people avoid failures, which is imminent, and then, learn something smart. So again, I was just explaining the 90% failure and some of the reasons behind this, yeah? More than 50% of the startup fail because the product or whatever we are developing, people are not there to buy. They do not want to buy. So we are developing something thinking that people need it or they will realize they need it. But no, actually they do not need it. That we realize after developing the product or of creating it, not before. So your 2 years journey is already exhausted finding out that. That's very bad. And the late other problems like team problems, financial problems are all interrelated actually. So I'll come to that in a minute. So this looks like a little, magical box, but I'll tell you, I am inspired by ancient Indian way of life and also Japanese way of life, because there is so much integrity, discipline, and attention to detail in there, which if you learn, it's very powerful. So I am trying to find a holistic way of how a startup can be a success, integrating these things also. So Seiko is success in Japanese language. Seiko means success. So it is success 7 mantras for startup, which I'm trying to research and come up with. It's still under research, and I'm talking to experts, whether this framework really works and things that needs to be changed in the existing framework. So I have to take a lot of input also, but I'm happy to share with you today. So Seiko 7 mantras of startups. The first step is know your ikigai. If you know Japanese way of life, you would definitely know what ikigai is. Iki is life and gai is worthfulness. So, what is your life worthfulness is, what you like to do, what makes you feel worthwhile. That is what Ikigai is. So, when you want to do something, a startup or a business or anything in life, you need to know what's your passion is. If you are a non-technical person and you're given to code, how long can you do, even if they're giving you like 1,000 pounds a day? You can't go long, right? So you need to know your Ikigai. So Ikigai is a combination of what's your passion, that is what you love, and what you're good at. You may love something, but you may not be good at that, right? And you may love something you're good at, but world doesn't need it. Okay, so that cannot be your Ikigai. So that's something what world also needs and what they can reward you for, what they can also pay for. So the combination of these four factors, what you love and you're good at and what world needs and you get paid, becomes your Ikigai. So before starting anything, you need to know your Ikigai, especially you're going to start a new business. Because otherwise you will not sustain for long, or you will not enjoy your journey for lifetime. You will keep doing something you do not want just for the sake of money. That won't give you fulfillment. So knowing your Ikigai is a number one mantra in having a startup, a non-failure startup. The next step is startup black box. I'll explain you in a minute what startup black box is. If you can please go to the next slide. So whatever from the Ikigai I decide to do, it will fall in one of these baskets, one of these sectors. It could be agri-tech, it could be food tech, travel tech, ed tech, anything. So, but whichever it is, you treat this as a black box. You don't need to be, once you know your area of interest and what you want to do, you treat this as a black box, because the framework is going to tell you, irrespective of whatever it is, treating it as a black box to make it a success. So then we go to the third mantra, build your ecosystem. Now, this is really, really important. Yeah, building your ecosystem is very, very critical in anything you do, especially business. If you don't build your ecosystem and if you think, look, I will figure this out, the next day, it's not going to happen. I'll truly tell you, your half energy is going to go in that. So let's go to build ecosystem part. Let's take an example of if you're going to start something in food tech. So you need to develop a lot of knowledge in that area. Even before you put your limited company or register your company, you gain lot of knowledge in that area. It may take a month's time of you exploring it online, offline, meeting experts. So you have to gather knowledge. You cannot gather knowledge through the journey of your startup. You have to gather before, because while you gather knowledge, it may give you a decision, this is not for me. And it saves your lifetime, wandering around that idea for long. So please gain your knowledge. And the next one is the MVP document. This is minimum viable product document. So in our startup world, we also called MVP. We develop minimum viable product. So like a sample that is fit to go to market. And if it is a software, a prototype. But the mantra here is, don't do the product, don't do the minimum viable product, just do the document. This tells you what your target customer is. Before even target customer, what problem you're trying to solve for the world. When you go dig deep in your thoughts, that idea will become very clear. What problem for the world you are going to solve, and what is your target customer, and you will have lot of exploration around that, because there is a limitation of time. I will not go into detail. So you have to do your MVP document. So once you do your knowledge gathering and MVP document around, now you build your profile. You show the world that you are the person who is capable of doing that. If you are in a food tech, you go, you go certify certain courses around that, and you develop your profile around that in a in a way of like people identify you with that field. So then networking, so this is very important. If you're not associated with the people in that area who are experts and who are well known, your time to success is going to take 10 times more. So the founders team, see, this is very interesting. So one of my friend who started a startup, he found a co-founder who is a ex-CEO of Apple. So the moment he found him as a co-founder, the entire professional world believed them. They have something worth to do. So when you find your founders team, find a person who complements. If you are good at technology, he should be good at marketing, or he should be good at getting business. So your founders team is very important, and that builds sense of brand. So all this is going to take only 3 months rather than you spending 3 years around the same thing. So the fourth mantra is build your presence. After you build your ecosystem, building presence is easy. You develop your website and your digital presence on Meta, Instagram, and product profile, and you make your events, followers, and you find your brand ambassador, brand value. So once you have right founders team and the other things I spoke about, making this is very easy, and it should not take then more than 6 months for you to do. So I'm cutting your time from 3-4 years to 9 months here. If you're a startup person, you will know this, because if you have not done the startup, you will not realize that much. But if you are a startup person, you know what I'm talking about. So this is about building your digital presence and awareness. So the fifth one is, once you have your build a presence and your ecosystem, you should be able to acquire your first customer very easily. Because with all this potential, you will get your first customer even before building the product. So step 6, this is the same about getting first order after doing these steps. When you have built presence, you are going to go for pre-seed funding or crowdfunding, which you are able to get. And then at Seco Mantra 5, you are able to get your seed funding. And at number 6, product building and manufacturing. This is where you actually build the product. All this was done in an offline mode. So at number 4, your actual product building happens. So you have saved at least 3 years in this way of framework. So next, number 7, once you have your product build, you can go for seed funding, series A, B, C, D, so then I go to the number 7. So this is where product building I spoke about. The duration would be 7 to 15 months. You build your product, actually you build, and then you come to the normal process. But before, the work you have done will take you like a flying saucer here. So the last one is nothing but business development, brand expansion, which all of us do. Everybody knows how to do. Once we have a success here, the number 7 is very easy one to do. So you will expand your distribution network, product lines and variation in product lines. So, and you get more fundings, once you're in stage 5 and 6. I think so. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is, with this Seco 7 mantra, which I'm trying to research and finalize, you're able to stop the failures for any startup which is having 90% of failure. So I hope we are able to get acquainted with intellectual people and make it more foolproof. I need more support to get this framework developed and distributed across globe. And I hope I'll continue working on this. And thank you so much for giving me your time today to listen to me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your time. Thank you.
The next award goes to Mrs. Shilpa Sanjeev. So Shilpa, tell us what was your experience at the GRSC 2024 here at Oxford, and what was your takeaway?
Yeah, hi Vani, good to connect with you again, and you've been such a good host. Yeah, I think GRC 2024 was brilliant, awesome, very intellectual, and I connected with like-minded people from various countries, and my research was all about how to make us startup failure proof, because we have 90% failure rate with startups, and we have millions and millions of them getting created like a mushroom. So if so many millions of startups are coming on board and 90% of them are failing, we have to do something about it. So my research is all about that, and have developed a CECO 7 framework to make it a success for all the startups. And I did a podcast as well, and my ideas were taken on board very well by audience in the presentation and in the podcast. And also, LOST also offered me to take the framework on board for their online courses. So that's brilliant as well. So it's been very productive and very enjoyable as well. And I made a lot of good friends, and that's more important than anything. And as a humans, we need other humans who are very helpful and like-minded. I think I achieved everything what I kind of came for. I'm very happy.
Awesome.
And special thanks to Pareen, who is very affectionate and kind, and she's amazing as a woman. So I would like to connect with her for all future endeavors, and I congratulate her for this event.